Let's paint a picture. It's early morning in an Australian aged care home, maybe in Sydney's suburbs, maybe out in rural Victoria. The air's got that faint mix of eucalyptus from the garden and the sterile tang of cleaning supplies. There's a soft clink of breakfast trays, the murmur of residents waking up, and the steady shuffle of footsteps down the hall. And right there, at the heart of it all, is an Australian nurse. I'm 82 now, and I've seen my fair share of these places, lived in one, visited others, and I can tell you this. Nurses are the lifeblood of aged care in Australia. I used to think aged care was all about the building, the nice rooms, the manicured lawns, or maybe the doctors who pop in now and then. But I was dead wrong. It's the nurses who make it work. They're the ones checking your blood pressure, doling out your meds, helping you into your slippers when your hands won't cooperate. They're the ones who notice when you're not yourself and sit with you when the days drag on. But it's not a walk in the park, not for them, not by a long shot. I've watched them hustle, juggle, and sometimes just keep going when they've got nothing left. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain on Australia nursing in aged care homes. I've got 6 truths to share, things I've seen with my own eyes, lessons I've pieced together from living it, backed up by what the experts say on sites like My Aged Care and the Department of Health. Some of these might shock you, some might make you nod along, and all of them matter if you're over 60 or looking out for someone who is. Stick with me to the end. These aren't just stories, they're a roadmap. A roadmap for understanding the folks who keep us going, and maybe even making your own life a bit better in the process. Let's get into it. Truth 1, Australia nursing is the backbone, but it's buckling under pressure. The first truth hit me hard, and it's one you need to hear. Australian nurses are the backbone of aged care homes, but they're stretched to breaking. Picture this, I'm in the dining room, spooning up some porridge, when Nurse Jenny comes by. She's in her 50s, wiry, with a no-nonsense ponytail. She's got a blood sugar kit in one hand, a clipboard in the other, and she's calling out to an aide to grab Mr. Evans' walker, all at once. In a good home, she's got maybe 15 residents to look after. In a tough spot, like some rural joints I've heard about, it could be 30 or more. That's not just busy, that's a tightrope walk. The Australian government's been banging on about this for years. meagcare.gov.au says staffing shortages have been a headache forever, and the Royal Commission into Aged Care Quality and Safety in 2021 called it a crisis. Nurses are doing everything, meds, wound care, paperwork, while the clock ticks and the call bells ring. I've seen Jenny skip her tea break, munching a biscuit on the fly, just to keep up. The ANMF says over half of aged care nurses work overtime, some clocking 60-hour weeks, because if they don't, who will? Health tip for seniors, we've got a job here, too, keep yourself moving. If you can, shuffle to the lounge instead of waiting for help. Do some chair exercises, lift your knees, roll your shoulders, 10 minutes a day. The Department of Health says 150 minutes of light activity a week, like walking or stretching, cuts your fall risk by 30% and keeps your ticker strong. Less work for nurses means they can focus where it counts. Start easy, stand and sit 5 times, hold the chair if you need. Build up slow, and you're golden. More practical advice, if your joints creak, ask your doc about physio. Water exercises are tops for arthritis. I started pacing my room after breakfast, 10 minutes, that's it, and my legs thank me. If you're in a home, ask for a walker if you're wobbly, don't wait for a fall. At home, set a timer, move every hour. It's not just about you, it's about giving nurses like Jenny a breather. My personal take, I used to figure nurses had it sorted, always calm, always ready. Then I saw Jenny's hands shake as she poured water one day, and it clicked, they're human, not robots. I started leg lifts, 10 reps, 3 times a day, not just for me, but to lighten her load. Wish I'd done it back home, kept that strength up. Don't wait till you're in a home, start now. Truth 2, they're your bridge to life, but time's against them. Here's the second truth, and it's a beaut. Australian nurses aren't just med machines, they're your connection to the world. When I first landed in aged care, I felt like I'd been shipped off to nowhere. My kids were flat out, mates from the old days faded away. Then Nurse Tom rolled in. He's a big fella, ex-rugby type, with a grin that could light up the Nullarbor. He didn't just check my pills, he asked about my days driving trucks across the outback. Next week, he brought me a road map, pointed out the routes I used to run. That's Australia nursing at its best. My aged care calls it person-centered care, seeing you as you, not a bed number. Nurses clock the most face time with us. Health.gov.au says they handle 80% of direct care in homes. They spot when you're down, when you skip brekkie, when you need a yarn. But here's the snag, they're racing the clock. I've seen Tom start a chat about my old rig, only to bolt when a buzzer went off. Too many residents, not enough minutes. Health tip for seniors, keep those connections alive, talk to your nurse when you can. Share a story, 5 minutes does wonders. NIA says social chats cut dementia risk by 20% and keep the blues away. Ask their name, toss out a, what's your day been like? It's not just nice, it's health food for your brain. More practical advice. Make it a habit, when they drop your meds, say something simple, ever driven the coast road? Builds a bond. If you're in a home, join the group stuff, cards, sing-alongs, nurses pop in, and it's a chance to click. At home, ring a mate weekly, hit a seniors club. I started asking Tom about his footy days, now he checks on me even off shift. Keeps me sharp. My personal take, that map's still on my wall, a lifeline to who I was. Took me ages to say thanks, don't be slow like me. Tell M quick. And honestly, I reckon Tom gets a kick out of it too, he's stuck in here with us, in a way. We're mates now. Truth 3, they're your voice, but the system's deaf. Third truth's a ripper, Australian nurses fight for you, even when it's a slog. I saw it with Nurse Kate, small, fierce, like a terrier with a bone. One day, I heard her on the blower with a doc about old Bill's meds, too much, she reckoned, making him woozy. Check his chart, he's not coping, she barked. Took 15 minutes, but she got it sorted, Bill was back to his card games in days. That's what they do, push for better food, more physio, less dope you up pills. AgedCareEquality.gov.au says nurses are the first to call out dodgy care, understaffing, cold meals, you name it. But the system's a brick wall. Funding's tight, health.gov.au says homes scrape by on thin margins. Aids are green, rules are rigid. Kate told me once, I'd fix more if I could breathe. Health tip for seniors, be your own megaphone. Jot stuff down, how you feel, what's off. Knees ache, soup's bland. Hand it to your nurse. NIA says clear talk ups your care quality by 25%, gives M ammo to push. Keep it short, no whinging, just facts. More practical advice, grab a cheap notebook, $2 at Kmart. Scribble daily, slept bad, need a stretch. Pass it over with a, thought you'd want to see this. At home, track your vitals, BP, sleep, know your norm. I started after Kate's win, showed her our back's killing me, got a new mattress fast. Techie? Use your phone, Notes app works. My personal take, I began logging after Bill's fix, showed Kate legs stiff, got a walker pronto. Wish I'd done it at home, ignored too much till it bit me. Nurses need us in the fight, give 'em the goods. Truth 4, their bodies break, so yours don't have to. Fourth truth's a gut punch, Australian nurses wreck themselves to keep us ticking. I clocked it with Nurse Rob, big bloke, 40s, limping one day. Been on his feet 12 hours, lifting, rushing, bending. Helped me up when my knees buckled, winced, said, old footy injury. ANMF says 70% of nurses cop back pain, hauling us, twisting in tight spots. Post 2020, 1 in 3 quit from burnout, per health.gov.au. They're here, Rob's dragged me from bed, dashed to catch a faller, but it's a toll. I've seen him pop Panadol, rub his neck, soldier on. Their health for ours, it's the deal. Health tip for seniors, lighten their load. Scoot in bed yourself, use the rails. Get a grabber, $10 online, for socks, keys. CDC says staying mobile cuts heavy help needs by 40%. Move a bit, wiggle toes, lift arms, keeps you in the game. More practical advice, practice transfers, chair to bed, 5 times daily, with help if shaky. I got a reacher after Rob's limp, drops my book, I grab it, he rests. At home, tweak your setup, low shelves, grab bars. Wish I'd done it, my old joint was a trap. Small stuff saves their spines. My personal take, Rob's hobble got me, I feel bad watching. That grabber's my, sorry, mate. Should've kept fit at home, don't slack off like me. Truth 5, they're lifesavers, not always comforters. Fifth truth came at night, Australian nurses ace emergencies, but the soft stuff's a stretch. I was up at 3 a.m., mind racing, kids, old regrets. Nurse Lisa popped in, quick, efficient. Checked my pulse, you're okay, and off. She's tops, nabbed my low BP once, fixed it fast, but no chat, no what's up. Training's all action, wounds, CPR, per agedcarequality.gov.au. Heart to hearts? Not so much. They've got 20 of us buzzing, no time for tea and sympathy. NIA says 40% of us feel lonely in homes, nurses help, but they're not the cure. Health tip for seniors, calm yourself. Deep breaths, 5 in, 5 out, 10 minutes. Cuts stress 30%, per studies. Hum a tune, waltzing Matilda, works. They can't sit, so you've got to settle your own nerves. More practical advice, keep a comfort stash, photo, radio. I've got a pic of my old truck, calms me down. At home, practice, meditate, call a mate. I started breathing after Lisa's flyby, saves me. In a home, find a quiet spot, garden, chapel. Take it. My personal take, wished Lisa lingered, just a tick. Now I breathe it out, not her gig, mine. Took me too long, don't dawdle. Truth 6, they stick around, against all odds. Last truth's a corker, Australian nurses stay, even when they could bolt. Asked Nurse Jenny, why keep at it? She said, you lot need us. pays fair, $35–$40 an hour, ANMF reckons, but not flash for the grind. They could hit hospitals, GPs, but they pick aged care. Storms, pandemics, they're here. Health.gov.au says homes survived COVID 'cause nurses stuck it out. It's a promise, not a paycheck. Health tip for seniors, say thanks. A word lifts their spirits, happy nurses, better care, NIA says. Note, smile, cost zip, pays big. More practical advice, drop a card, $1 at the shop, or tell the boss, Jenny's a champ. I gave her one, her grin was ace. At home, thank your helpers, postie, neighbor. Keeps the good vibes going. My personal take, that card was my first cheers in yonks, her smiles burned in. Wish I'd done it sooner, don't hold off. Final thoughts, salute the unsung. Growing old's no picnic, it's a bloody rough ride some days, but these Australian nurses? They're the ones who make it bearable. They're not perfect, mind you, tuckered out, sore, as human as the rest of us, but crikey, they're heroes in my book. They're the glue holding aged care together, the ones who keep us ticking when the going gets tough. I've watched M slog through long shifts, dodge burnout, and still muster a smile for us lot. That's not just a job, that's a fair dinkum commitment. So here's the deal, next time you're in a home, or even just thinking about it, really see these nurses. They're not background noise, they're the heartbeat. Pitch in where you can, move a bit, speak up, give M a hand by looking after yourself. And don't hold back on a thanks, mate, it goes a long way. They're out there busting a gut so we can have a bit of dignity, a bit of comfort, a bit of life left in us. Your days, my days, are brighter, fuller, because they're in the trenches with us. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below, what's one thing that stuck with you today? How are you planning to use it? Maybe it's a tip you'll try, or a cheers you'll pass on to a nurse. And hey, if you've ever been in an Aussie aged care home, resident, visitor, whatever, tell us what it was like. What did you feel about the nurses there? Share your yarn so we can all get a bit of insight. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and chuck this video to a mate who might need it. Let's keep the convo going. See you in the next one.